Guys, welcome back to the fourth episode as a playthrough as Rome. Today, since last episode we did conquer some land down here, now we do have a truce with these nations. So we are going to want to maybe set our sights up here. So I found that this country right here does an alliance with these two nations and is relatively weak. So that's what we're going for this episode. So we're just going to covert actions and fabricate claim. And so we do want to move the armies all the way up there. And so we'll just get doing that. I'll come back once we have a claim fabricated. So now we have a claim, and we have to go ahead and declare war on this nation right here. So suddenly you can see it's all for that, which is great. And so we're just going to declare war. As you can see that they will bring in a lot of allies, which is good for us. And one of our subject states will actually join, which is a lot more than the 0 I was expecting, considering that they're all disloyal. So you can see we have no repercussions, and then declare war. So we are at war with these guys now, and maybe with these guys. Nope. So that's pretty good for us. So if we do a full sweep in this war, we'll get all of this land right here, which is really great. So we'll have this army go back and take out to these guys, and then this army will just go lay siege to that. Because based on the size of their armies, all of their armies combined maybe potentially could take out that army. You can see that they're massive army of 3,000 has decided to defend that city, and now is going over there, which ideally our army is gonna come take that one out. And they're all kind of sneaking past. We do have a trade, and no one wants to trade with us. Never mind, we don't have trade then. So you see these guys are kind of sweeping through, but we do want those sieges. Ideally that army goes and maybe takes them out, even though their army is smaller. You can see that they have decided to, I don't know who their general is, but they should probably be fired for taking on an army of 11,000 with an army of 6,000. But we'll see how that goes for them. Predictably, it did not go well. You can see this army is actually semi-intelligent and decided to run away. So this army is just about to finish up that siege, and then we can easily go and take out all that. So the reason I'm letting them, take all this land instead of easily destroying them with these two armies is because 2 forts is more valuable than 2 tiles, which I can unsiege in like 30 seconds. So we'll just have this army go and take out those ones. Or you can have it head back over here and maybe take out this fort, because it looks like that army is doing its job and taking them out, as well as this army is just about finished. So now they're laying siege more, but we got their land, and now we can come and take out that army if this army can't do it. And you see they probably are going to do it, so we'll just take that land right there. We'll put these guys in independent operations, so we can only have to control one army, so we don't just have one army sitting back and doing nothing. I've had that happen before. And so essentially this land over here is pretty much all forts, so that's going to be annoying to lay siege to, but this army is pretty big, so it'll do really well. Typically the bigger your army is, the better they are at laying siege to forts, which kind of only makes sense considering that they can surround the fort better, or well. So this army seems like something happened to their commander, so we'll have to reappoint the guy, and there it is, taking out the land over here. And I'm going to manually tell them to just go take out that fort so we don't have to worry about it a bit later. And you can see that one of their armies is trying to escape. So if we could turn around, which we can't for some reason. I don't know. Maybe they'll decide to attack us. Nope. So here, this army is doing really well. Surprisingly, normally those guys are semi-useless. But so we'll get this army to go take out these guys, because that is majority of their troops, and they're just retreating. So we'll head over here, because like the only way they can retreat to is probably this fort right here. And then if we could take out these troops, that'd be always nice. We do have a ton of pop-ups up here. See, we've lost a lot of people in the government. Still no one wants to trade with us, which is annoying. Probably has something to do with our relatively high aggressive expansion. And there they come, just as I predicted, to engage that army that's like 7 times their size. And here the next ones come. And we have not lost, we've almost lost 0 troops. Our war score is really high. And so this war is going pretty well for us. And another person is lost. job in the government. And we do have a ton of different things. You can see we do have a disloyal character, this guy right here. And so what we're going to do is, see that his loyalty is pretty low, so we don't want to just spend much money. So we are going to do what we pretty much always do. Plan an assassination on this guy right here. Hopefully that's the right guy. Nope, it was not the right guy. It's a good thing I checked. Otherwise, we would have assassinated the wrong guy. So trade routes keeps staying there, and I keep checking, but still no one wants to trade with us. And you see these starving pops, that is just because we... Who's this? Appears that someone else has joined the war, or gotten down there, or this land is magically being captured. Who is this nation right here? How did they get there with their ships? Yeah. They decided to be very smart, sail their army all the way down here, and it looks like they just captured all of this land right here. We are still winning by a ton, so this isn't really too big of a problem, but that is the source of this starving pops. And you see, you do another decision, up all its social quality, which you don't want to do. And so we'll just let that army maybe take out an army way bigger than it. I don't know. It looks like it did. It's pretty great for them. So the siege are going pretty well, and we have another person who died or lost their job, or some other form of not being in the government anymore. Morale of armies, that's always useful. And then, nope, this, not much we could do. We could go for, you see, we could go for discipline, but that's not super useful. Or we could go for national tax, and you can see a tax is pretty much, but that is really expensive. And we might want to save that for maybe recruiting some mercenaries if this really needs to be dealt with. So we'll just let those armies just keep laying siege. And lack of food, Legion 1. It's not the best. And you can see 0 reaching the armies this month. That's not very good. As you see, their armies are all at literally, you can't even almost not see the bar of morale right there. So we're doing pretty well. You can see we have more trade. That siege just got one. And then we could leave this army down here, but I have a new solution for it actually. Considering that our economy is pretty good. Considering we do have lost 8,000 men, so that's probably the source of our sudden greatness at economy. But we're just going to recruit archers and maybe like four light infantry, just so we can deal with that annoying thing that's decreasing our war score. Even though this army is not doing quite as well, but we are up there. And so, Legion 1, once again, it just appears to have lost their generals. What we're going to do with this army here, you can see it's lost quite a few troops, so we're going to send it all the way back to here, and we're going to let it like refuel essentially. And so this army is now going to be Legion 3, although we do have to combine them once they all get to that one tile, and then point them to the commander, and then wait for their morale to go up. And that should be enough to deal with that army, and their generals looks like they may be a bit better than ours, but that should be fine. So let's leave this army down. You can see our war score is just about at 100 actually, and that army is laying siege over there. So if we could catch these guys, we'll be able to take them out. You can see that green thing right there, and this army is going to abandon its other army, and unfortunately we didn't completely destroy the army, so we will have to defeat it again. You can see another army right here just popped up. Too late for us to change directions, so we are going to lose there, it looks like. See that they've all decided that they really prefer, instead of taking on our actual armies, to just go and hide over here. It's not doing too well for them, though, for their war score. And so this army is just about completely regenerated. You see this army is decided to go over and deal with that, maybe, hopefully. And so if we were to decide to super peace here, we could get all of that, those two bits, this and this, and yeah, we want more than that. So we're gonna get this army to go take out that fort, because we're the only obstacle over here, And then we might want to break them in half so we don't get completely destroyed by that lack of food, and so we can siege the forts faster, as long as we don't run out of troops. So this army, we'll just have them charge this army right here. So we completely finish off this nation, although they do still have one army of 6k right there. And I bet, and since I don't think that's their entire army, yep, 10k, and so I bet there's 4k over here, because that seems where they all like to go. And they don't run out over there, which is good, because we can't chase them in there because we don't have access. I doubt they'd give us access. So in that, we'll put these guys on independent operations so they can do whatever they want. And then over here, we will try and take some of those out. We will recruit light cavalry and light infantry, and then we'll get this army to head over here. They're still pretty low in morale. So while those are recruiting, you can see that these guys are also a bit low in morale, but their army is bigger than ours. Although we do have our other army to help. So we'll just kind of rush this army right here. And you can see we did. Looks like that army barely lost right before we got there, which isn't good for us because now we might lose. But we'll see. You can see that they already had pretty low morale, although we did as well, and we were able to beat them. So we'll put this army on an independent operation, actually defend borders. So then it'll be a lazy army and not do anything. I see how it is. They lay siege to a fort, so I'm not sure that army will be able to. We'll just put them on defend borders and hope that they do something. Eventually, it looks like they're starting to do something, and these guys want to head down and join the fun, so that's fine. And this army can hold the fort. Excuse the pun there. Okay, so we took that, and now we're at 99 war score, but we do want a full sweep, so we don't have to get a truce for 5 years and then not be able to take any land around here just because we didn't take this one area. And so that was where the rest of the armies were, not down there, which is good. We pretty easily managed to beat them there, and now we're just going to lay siege to that. And so we are pretty low in manpower. You can see that there is one of these ships, Rudra, full navy, and that I have no idea how they still have land over here. That's how they have a navy, because they don't have any coastal places everywhere. So let's hope that someone decided to trade with us, and no one just wants to trade with us. And you see blockaded ports right here because that navy's there. But you see that these armies are doing pretty well to unlay siege all this. And so the reason we aren't at 100 is because we have to take out the rest of their land, meaning this little siege right here. And it depends on the war. Sometimes to get 100 you have to defeat all their troops, but sometimes you don't, and this army has decided to make the journey all the way back up there to probably do absolutely nothing. Although we probably will declare war maybe a bit up here a bit later on. So this army is doing really well. I keep saying that, but it is. And so manpower, we are regenerating, which is good. And at war, a common misconception is you can't regenerate manpower, and the only reason you can't regenerate manpower is if you're losing men, or like for attrition. And so you can see this army is just about to be able to take that fort, 43% chance. And that'll just keep going up. Although the if these things stop popping up, we did just take out a lot of troops. It looks like this 42% chance will never change, but if you click over here, you can see the actual chance if these things would really stop popping up. You can see that pop up. Okay, another pop up. Well, the siege won, so I didn't get to prove my point, but that will happen. And so this one also, it's a 36% chance. You can see that's not quite 42, as it says right here, but that's just a little gauge of all the different things that could possibly happen. And so once the siege finished up, you can see that people are calling for peace, but you can see we just won that war. Now that takes up to 100, and we are going to sue for peace here. So we'll just take all of their land. And you can see we are able to get all of it with barely passing by there. So it's that major power, it's great. And so, deserve no quarter, you should pretty much always hit that. You see you got a ton of land. And so that's going to be about it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.